Hello students, in the previous class we discussed about what is current as well as what is voltage. So what is the necessary of having voltage? So if there is no potential difference, voltage is nothing but potential difference. So if there is no potential difference, then the current or there is no current. So for having the current, or if there has to be flow of charges, then there has to be potential difference. So only when there is a potential difference, only then the charges flow from one point to another point. So with this, in this class we will see what is resistor or what is a resistance. So you know, in generally resistance means something which you offer, like they say there is a resistance or they say your resistance power is more, especially during this COVID time. Most of the people say if you are healthy, if you are not affected with the corona, so they say your resistance power is more. That is nothing but the resistance of or avoiding or not getting infected easily is more. So similarly, the resistance in current electricity means that to the power of any material to stop the current from flowing. So even if you take the current situation, since it's raining heavily in most parts of Kalburgi, so it's being flooded. Even though there are dams, so what is that dam or reservoir? They are built to stop the flow of water. So it is providing resistance. But since the flow is more, it is overflowing, or the particular reservoir is not able to stop that. So the resistance is not that good. Since another factor is there is heavy rain and it has not been recorded in the past this much of rainfall. So even that is one main factor, but the dams are built to stop the water. So obviously most of the dams will be having greater resistance to hold the water, and you have not imagined the power of water. The power of water is so bad that it can wash away anything. And even though if the dams are built in such a manner that it can stop the flow of water. Coming back to current electricity, so resistance here means something which the material offers for the current which is flowing. Suppose say current is flowing in front of me, or it is flowing. So if I am having resistance, I can stop that. So resistor is also doing the same thing. So it is stopping, or it is altering the flow of charges. So this is something which is very important, that is Ohm's law. So what you do here is you take a circuit. You take a circuit. So here initially this is resistor, you know. Initially when you connect only one cell, some amount of current will be flowing in this circuit. So current flows from positive to negative. So only some amount of current will be flowing in this particular circuit. Let's say this is 1 volt. To make our calculation easier, so let's take the current to be 1 ampere. So what happens? So let's tabulate this. So voltage, current. So you measure, you know what is the potential difference of this battery, you know what the current flowing. So if you want to measure, you measure with the help of ammeter. So this is negative, so this is negative, so positive is connected to positive of ammeter. So this ammeter measures the amount of current flowing in any particular circuit. So this is ammeter. So you connect this ammeter in series, not parallel. So you connect the ammeter in series with the circuit. Next, you connect voltmeter. Positive is connected to positive, negative is connected to negative. So this voltmeter is used to measure the potential difference across the resistor, or it might be across any particular conductor, it might be across any particular thing. So if you want to measure the potential difference, it is with the help of voltmeter. So if you want to measure potential difference, then it has to be connected across the device. If you want to measure the current in any particular circuit, then you have to connect the ammeter in the circuit, or it is in series. So this is in series, this is parallel. So if you interchange, then the current or the potential difference that you have measured will not be proper. So this is how you need to connect. So in the coming classes, when you understand the series and parallel combination, at that particular point I'll explain you once again. So what is the reason for you to connect ammeter in series and voltmeter only in parallel? So what happens if you interchange that? So when we come across series and parallel combination, I'll explain you once again. So voltmeter you have to connect parallel or across the device. So ammeter in series. So ammeter is used to measure the current. So with the help of ammeter, you measure the current. So if it is 1 ampere, potential difference is 1 volt. So now add one more. So it becomes 2 volt. So since you are increasing the potential difference, or since you are increasing the voltage, the current will also increase. You are not changing this resistance. The resistor value remains the same. So current will increase. So it will be 2 ampere for 2 volts. If you increase, if you add one more cell, it becomes 3 volt. So for 3 volt, the current will also increase, 3 ampere. So on. If you continue this, if you add 4, it will be 4 ampere. So this is a rough value that I have taken for explaining. So it's not always that if you have 4 volt, you will get 4 ampere. You might get any amount of current. So it depends even on the resistor. So this is the calculation, or this is the experiment that we have done. So after doing this, what you need to do is plot this. You know how to plot. So in the x-axis, take voltage. In the y-axis, take current. So when you plot this, when there is no battery, then there is no current that is flowing through the circuit. If I remove this battery, then there is no current. So for 0, the current is also 0. So this is the first point. Next, for 1 node, current is 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the potential difference or if the voltage is 1, current is 1. So next, if it is 2, similarly 3, 4. So when you draw a line, this will be a straight line. So just drawn roughly, but this will be a straight line. So this gives the value of resistor. This gives what is the value of this. So the resistance value. So from this, the thing that, or what is that you made out of this? When you are increasing the potential difference, the current is also increasing with proportionally or with the same rate. So this gives us the Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that potential difference is directly proportional to the current, provided the temperature remains the same. So what it says is potential difference V is directly proportional to current. So this is directly proportional or proportionality symbol. So potential difference is directly proportional to current, provided its temperature remains the same. So this is very important. So you have to write that. If you skip the part, that is for a constant temperature, then the Ohm's law, whatever the statement that you have written, is wrong. So that is very important. So potential difference is directly proportional to current. So if I have to remove this proportionality symbol, so V is equal to I naught R I. So this is a constant. So this is called as resistance. So V is equal to IR, or R is equal to V by I. So R is the resistance. So it is potential difference by current. So this resistance, the SI unit of resistance is Ohm. OHM. So you represent with this symbol. This is Ohm. So how do you define 1 ohm? So R is equal to V by I. So you say 1 ohm when potential difference is 1 volt, the current flowing is 1 ampere. When the potential difference is 1 volt and the current flowing is 1 ampere, then it constitutes 1 ohm. So it's simple. So just write the expression and write the definition. When the potential difference across a conductor is 1 volt and the current flowing through it is 1 ampere, then we get, or it constitutes 1 ohm. So this is very important. So you need to first write the circuit diagram, then you need to write some points stating how do you arrive at this particular experiment. Then using these values, you need to plot a graph. So after plotting this graph, you need to write the statement. So after writing the statement, you need to write this expression, that is V is directly proportional to I. This is proportionality symbol. So V is directly proportional to I. So if I have to remove this proportionality symbol, I need to introduce a constant. So where R is a constant called as resistance. So V is equal to IR. This is Ohm's law. R is equal to V by I. The SI unit of resistance is ohm. So if you want to define 1 ohm, then it is 1 volt by 1 ampere. So R is a resistance. Suppose this is all about Ohm's law. There is one more concept called as rheostat. So this is only about the Ohm's law. There is something out of the Ohm's law. So we have one more circuit. Suppose that this is 5 volt, and here if we take 5 ampere is the current that is flowing is 5 ampere for some particular value of resistance. So if I change the value of resistance, keeping the potential difference same, then the current varies, because from this I is equal to V by R. If I keep this constant, if this is constant and if the resistance varies, then the current also varies. V is constant. If I change the value of R, then the current will also change. So I have a constant potential difference, I have a constant source. So the power that you get in home, you have switches. There are, so suppose there are 2 poles, so you will be getting some amount of current. So you can't vary that. The amount of the potential difference or the voltage that you will get in your home will be constant. So you can't change that. You have to only change through using some other device. So what is the device? So if I need to change the value of current, or if I have to decrease or increase the amount of current, I need to use a device, because I can't change this. So at that particular time, what I need to do is, I need to change this resistance. How? Suppose say I am having remote, or the best example is fan. So when the regulator is at 1, it will be rotating slowly. When the regulator is at 3, it will be rotating with medium speed. If the regulator is at 5, it will be rotating at high speed. So you are changing without changing the potential difference. Without changing this, you are changing the speed. So if the speed has to change, then the amount of current also needs to change. So how do you do that? You do that by varying this resistance. So when you change the resistance, the current will also change. So you can't change this resistance when you are rotating the regulator. You can't go to the fan, or you can't change the resistor which is there in the fan. So you can't do that every time. So that's not a good way. So that is happening in the regulator. How? The resistance value that is there, this changes. So this is a variable resistor. This is also called as rheostat. Rheostat is a device where you can change the value of resistance accordingly, and with this change in resistance, the current also changes. So when you change the resistance value, the current changes. So in the next class I'll show you how the rheostat is, and I'll try to explain one more with some example. So for this, in today's class, what you need to concentrate and what you need to be perfect is with Ohm's law, because if you know what is Ohm's law, if you clearly understand this, then the further concepts will become easy. And one main formula that you have to remember is V is equal to IR. So in the next class I'll explain about this rheostat by showing you how the rheostat is, and we will even see what is a series and parallel combination. So till then, thank you, have a great day.